This is Kelso Surgeon. Thank you very much for tuning in to another session of my College of Advanced Sports Handicapping as we kick off another week. Reminder, be back here Wednesday morning with my next report. Before we get into the NFL preseason and Major League Baseball, just a note that's very important, sign up for any of my football services and you will receive absolutely free the entire NFL preseason, and that includes 2 50-unit Game of the Year plays and the rest of Major League Baseball, where I'm absolutely on fire, right through the World Series. Both the latter free. Sign up for any of my football services and win free in the preseason and in Major League Baseball. Now let's get into the first week of the NFL preseason, and I will be open and admit I had a terrible week. I feel like I'll bounce right back and recover as week 2 begins on Thursday night, and I say that with great confidence. Teams that looked awful in week 1, I'm speaking from a technical standpoint, not even the scores. 2 teams that just looked like they didn't even know one another with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. This is not to say that they won't improve dramatically in week 2, but there's definitely very little chemistry on these teams, and that can be because of the confusion of all the mixtures of players. But Jacksonville and Indianapolis looked absolutely terrible. As I said on my last report, we've got to pay attention to the totals. The rules changes on defense are obviously impacting something. 10 of these 17 games went over the number. 2 of them showed more than 60 or more points scored, and in those 10 games that went over, an average of 53.8 points were scored. This is unbelievable in a preseason where the average total posted is 35, give or take a point or 2. It's just something that we need to pay attention to, because if this keeps going, it's going to carry over to the regular season, and it's going to make handicapping the totals quite a challenge. Last but not least, the one thing that happens in the preseasons, we do have battles for quarterback, and those quarterback battles in week 2 especially pick up, and you can expect teams where guys are battling for the starting quarterback job for all the quarterbacks to perform as best they can. Let's begin, for instance, with the Buffalo Bills. Kevin Cobb is listed as a starter, and he may well be. E.J. Manuel is in the backup spot. Cobb missed the first game because of injuries. He'll play this week when the Bills host Minnesota on Friday night. Look for both these guys to put out a top effort. Now, we've got a situation in Jacksonville, which I've said all along. Blaine Gabbert and Chad Henne are battling for the quarterback spot, and for my money, neither one of them have the qualifications to get there. The New York Jets, Mark Sanchez and Geno Smith is still wide open. Sanchez probably has a little bit of an edge here, but he looked good and awful in his first game. Of course, Smith was injured and had to leave the ball game before he could show us too much. The Jet situation is mind-boggling, and we just must pay attention to it. The Oakland Raiders, I think the quarterback competition there is absolutely fierce between Matt Flynn and Terrell Pryor, and we'll give a little bit of a nod to Tyler Wilson. When Oakland is at New Orleans on this week, you can count on both Matt Flynn and Terrell Pryor playing at the absolute top of their games and hoping to gain that starting job. The Philadelphia Eagles will host the Panthers on Thursday night. You've got Michael Vick and Nick Foles really battling for the job, and I think both of them bring a lot to the table in different ways. I give the nod to Vick in this one simply because he fits the game plan of Chip Kelly in a much more significant way than does Nick Foles. But once again, these guys are going to be firing their best shots. Just keep in mind that in football and the NFL preseason, these quarterback battles do produce winners. We'll be paying a lot of attention at every single game this week where that situation prevails. Now, once again, if you'd like to get your feet wet, you don't know a lot about me or how I handicap, you can sign up for my Best Bets Football Investment Club for just $199 for the entire college and NFL season. And along with that, receive absolutely free, as noted earlier, the NFL preseason plus 250-unit Game of the Year plays and the rest of Major League Baseball right through the World Series. And speaking of baseball, my Best Bets Club, these are the selections that football clients receive each day. 6-1 the last 7 days. My high rollers continue to destroy the world with 100-unit plays, 14-3 with the last 17, and there'll be one every single day. In other words, there's still a fortune to be made in baseball. Touching quickly on who's just absolutely playing terribly in Major League Baseball right now. We all know who's playing well. Tampa Bay, 3-7, they've lost 5 straight. Houston, 1-9, they've lost 5 straight. Philadelphia, 2-8, they've lost 3 straight. Sometimes we look for teams to bet on. There's also time to look for teams to bet against, and all those teams do qualify. Thank you very much for tuning in, and just remember that you can sign up for any service and get all my games, either football or baseball, on this website or toll free at 1-800-755-2255. All major credit cards accepted.